This is a story about psychology, philosophy, and the soul behind success. In a world that celebrates numbers, followers, views, likes, there was a young man who had them all. Every video he made broke records. Every act of kindness became viral. He gave food to the hungry, homes to the homeless, smiles to strangers. People called him a hero. They said he was changing the world, but what no one saw was what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. When the studio lights faded and everyone went home, he would sit alone, scrolling through endless comments, millions of people thanking him, praising him. And yet deep down, something inside him felt quiet, empty. Psychologists call it the fulfillment gap. It's what happens when everything outside looks perfect, but something inside feels unfinished. It wasn't depression, and it wasn't sadness. It was more like a silent question he couldn't answer. Why doesn't this feel like I thought it would? He had spent years helping others, and in doing so, he had forgotten to ask what he truly needed himself. One evening, while filming another project, he visited a small village. His team had built wells there, clean water for hundreds of people. When the camera stopped, an old man approached him. He didn't speak English, but his eyes spoke a language older than words. He smiled and placed his hand on the young man's shoulder. It wasn't a thank you. It was something deeper, like a reminder. A reminder that peace doesn't come from what you give away, but from how present you are when you give. For the first time in months, he didn't record the moment. He just watched. Children were laughing. Women were carrying water on their heads, singing softly. The sun was setting behind the hills, and everything felt simple. He realized these people had almost nothing, yet they had something he had lost: peace. That night, back at the hotel, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the sound of that laughter. It wasn't loud, but it filled the whole world. He thought about his journey, how he had started making videos to help people. But along the way, helping others became another goal to chase. He understood something that philosophers and psychologists both agree on. Human beings don't just need purpose. They need presence. Success without peace feels like running without air. So he began to change small things. He started filming less and feeling more. He spent more time with people without holding a camera. He read books about the human mind, about how meaning is not created by attention, but by awareness. He came across a line from Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And for the first time, those words didn't sound ancient. They sounded alive. He began to understand that every act of giving must begin inside the heart, not the lens. Weeks later, when he posted a new video, it felt different. He wasn't trying to prove anything anymore. He didn't talk about how much he gave. He talked about why he gave, about what kindness does to the human soul. He told his audience that peace doesn't come from how much you own, but from how much you understand. He explained how psychology teaches us that the brain adapts to reward, that joy fades when it's chased, and how philosophy teaches us that the soul grows quiet only when it stops needing applause. That video didn't just go viral, it touched people, because it spoke about something every human being quietly feels: the emptiness that hides beneath success. Months passed. He reached another 1 billion views, but this time he didn't throw a party. He didn't even post about it. He just sat alone for a while, not lonely, but calm. He looked out the window and whispered a small prayer, not asking for more, but thanking for what was. He realized that peace isn't the reward for giving. It's the reason to give in the first place, and maybe that's what every soul is really searching for. Not fame, not recognition, but alignment. When what you do, what you think, and what you feel begin to move in the same rhythm. At the end of his next video, he left a message on the screen. You don't have to be seen by millions to make a difference. You just have to see the meaning behind what you do. Simple, honest, human, and maybe that's where real success begins. Not when your name is known, But when your heart is understood, when your actions stop asking for approval and start becoming prayers, when giving isn't about being remembered, it's about remembering what it means to be human, because at the end of every journey, behind the lights, the fame, and the screens, what remains is not how many people saw you, but how deeply you learned to see yourself. A story about psychology, philosophy, and the soul behind success. A reminder that peace isn't found in numbers, but in the heart that gives without needing to be seen.